Welcome to Pawplexity, a podcast about how living with dogs keeps rewriting the way we live, we think, and try to figure things out. One German,
one Brit,
and one American.
Three Spitzes, all opinionated but all completely different. We met on the Isle of Dogs in London, and we've kept talking ever since about behavior, about instincts, about mistakes, and the weird and beautiful things that come with sharing your life with a dog. This is our first episode called We Thought We Were Ready, Our Truth About Puppyhood. Welcome, Bruce. Welcome, Ben.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, guys. Thank you for joining.
So today we're talking about our dogs and life with our dogs. We all own a Spitz breed, which is a group that includes about 15% of the dog breeds. There are roughly 400 breeds worldwide. And some of them show ancient genetic markers like Makenzie. Others show how Spitz traits have evolved into drastically different dogs for modern life, like the Pomeranians as Judge. That would be Bruce's dog. Or even more recently, Pomskis, that is, I don't want to say owned, but loved by Ben. So what made you want a dog in the first place, guys?
Mine was sort of more of a, I've always wanted a dog of my own, and then lockdown happened, and I thought it was the best time to sort of, start. Worked from home, so I had all the time in the world to train him. I've just always grown up with a dog in my life ever since I was a baby. So, yeah, I thought it was time for my own.
What kind of dogs did you have when you were growing up?
Labradors, a Labrador, Golden Retriever, and now recently we've got Labradoodles, Pugs, and German Shepherd.
So you really ventured out of that direction of dog breeds going into the Spitz.
Yes. Always knew I wanted a Husky, to be honest. But yeah, obviously having a Husky in a city was a little bit more problematic than, I got a smaller version of a Husky.
It was a good choice.
Yeah.
It was. Ben, how about you? Bruce, sorry.
So, I've always had dogs growing up. So did Tatiana. So we wanted to get one of our own. And, woke up one morning and wanted a Rottweiler. We did go to a pet store. I thought it was going to be more like a farm, but it was a store. And, we fell in love with Judge, and it was the best choice we ever made.
So you took him home right away. You saw him,
yes.
And then he moved in with you?
Yes, yeah. I negotiated with him, which was kind of weird. I didn't know you can negotiate for a dog. Like when they said the price, I was like, oh, sorry, I'm way out of my league here. I didn't realize it was going to be that much. And then they're like, well, what do you want to pay? And I'm like, so we can start negotiating for this thing, And I got what I felt was a reasonable, amount. And we took him home.
Okay, has to be a question now. Would you have taken him home for the full price anyways?
Probably not.
How can you say that?
I know Tatiana yells at me all the time that I almost didn't get him. Because it was like they wanted $3,700. Yeah. And I was prepared to pay $1,500. So it was more than double.
True, but he was Tatiana's choice, right? So you were more...
Yeah, well, he was sitting in his food bowl and... curled up in a little ball in the bowl, and then he licked, like Tatiana touched the screen, he was in like a glass enclosure, and he licked like her finger, and that was it. If I didn't bring him home, we probably wouldn't be together anymore.
I would wholeheartedly agree with that. I think that is the right choice. So is there anything that your pre-dog self, which is a difficult question because you always had dogs, but before you owned your own dog, so is there anything that your pre-dog self would be shocked by now?
When you say by now, do you mean like...
How much have you changed into something that you thought you would never be as a dog parent?
So I was a germaphobe. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I still kind of am, but I ignore it when it comes to the dog, because, now we have 2 dogs and a cat. So, they can go wherever they want. They're on the bed, they're on the couch. Like, I think pre-dog me would look at that as disgusting. But now I'm like, I want them all over me every moment of the day.
Yeah.
And doesn't Judge even share your beer?
Yes. He likes beer.
I guess I'm a bit of a helicopter dad. which I didn't think I would be. But I'm like super paranoid with Bowie. Like, you know, who can take care of him, where he goes, what he's doing. I'm just sort of, you know, where I live. I guess that's one thing that's changed me. Sort of, how over the top I am with who he goes with and where he goes.
That is so funny. I wouldn't have thought you are a helicopter parent. So I know you're very aware of where he goes, what he eats, what he does, who he plays with, but from the outside, it doesn't feel as intense.
No, I mean, I'm not to the point where it's like, what's he eating? What are you giving him? What treats? Like,
so not like me.
Yeah, no, you can do what you want there, but like, it's more, you know, I moved into a particular building because it was dog friendly. It had a concierge, and I was like, good, no one can steal him. But to that point, I'm just sort of like, his safety is very, very anxious about it.
Yeah, that I can understand.
Of course, yeah. I mean, they mean everything to us.
Yeah.
For me, it's like I'm leaning towards, I'm in the middle between both of you, I want to say, but most likely I'm on the top of the scale. So absolutely didn't want her to be on the bed, on the couch, anywhere, because I come from a dog-loving family. But for me, a dog was just that, a dog. I didn't understand anything about them being like sentient beings. And then I thought she would move in and be a dog. And then she moved in and she is my entire world now. So So I'm a helicopter parent, and also she can do whatever she wants. It's not the best mix.
Yeah.
But do you know why dogs as companion animals are generally more successful, like, for example, cats or any other animal or species?
I mean, personally, I think cats, I've had cats as well, but the cats aren't as, they're more independent of themselves, aren't they? They're like, and I wouldn't say, cat people would probably argue with me, but I wouldn't say cats are as loving as dogs. I mean, with dogs, they've got more of a personality. They're a bit cheeky, you know, you can sort of like tell what they're thinking. It's more unconditional love with a dog, I think.
Luckily, we do have a cat person here, so.
a new cat person. So, yeah, I mean, they definitely are more independent, for sure. You know, you can't make them do what you want them to do, unlike with a dog. You know, a dog you could train, you know, sit, stay, come, whatever, lay down. A cat, I have not had any success. I haven't really tried, but I don't think she would listen to that. But I have to say, she's extremely loving, and she loves to cuddle. And for the most part, if I call her, she will eventually come. I'll be sitting on the couch, and I'll be like, hey, Nipsey, come here. And, you know, she eventually comes out, and she'll jump on my lap. And,
so she knows her name. So she
she 100% knows her name.
Okay.
Like when I say her name, she looks at me. She'll turn her head. I don't know where she is right now. Nipsey. Now she's going to make me look like a liar.
But the interesting thing, I read a bit about it, and I didn't really know that dogs are the species that is most aware of reading social stimuli. So they are so prone and so into reading our facial expressions and our like physical expressions to understand what we want of them. And these are the species that is paying most attentions to us, other than cats, who are usually not paying as much attention. And the result is they need us less. But also, which came out of that research, is that the relationship we build with a dog really impacts their behavior more than with any other species. And I want to see, as we're progressing with the podcast, Bruce, because you have cat and dog by your side, we really need to learn more about, and puppy. So you need to learn more about that relationship. But speaking of puppies again, so I think we all raised our baby puppies on the Northern American continent. And then we moved abroad, all of us, to other areas. But what I thought on the Northern American continent, which is really a thing that you do with puppies, is crate training. And as a German, we don't do crate training as much. So that was for me, because I didn't know anything about dogs. So for me, crate training was you shove them into a cage and that's that. Which really, it is not it. But how do you see crate training? What were your successes, and why did you do it? Why did you do it? And what did you really like about it? And how did you do it? So the secret to really make it a comfortable, safe space.
Yeah, I mean, well, like with Bowie, it was we tried to do crate training from the get-go, gave up on the first night, but then kept trying. But the first night we crate trained him, made the mistake of getting like a big crate, so it was like 5 times the size of him. Spoke to the vet afterwards, and no, they need like a smaller space, just so they can fit and turn around. But he screamed on the first night. And it sounded human-like, so I was like, this is going to upset the neighbours because they're going to think we're abusing some sort of child. So I took him out of the crate, and then from then on we got a smaller crate, and to get him used to it, I'd have to put my head in the crate with him until he was asleep. And eventually he found it it was like knew it as a safe space. But yeah, the reason I did that, just for travelling purposes, if he wants to take him somewhere, he can feel safe in his crate and not get anxious. So, the main thing.
Does he still go there? Is it still there?
He's got a bed crate now that he uses. I just leave the door open. If he wants to get in it, he can get in it. If not, doesn't have to. He's partial to it. He's not. Sometimes he feels like going in the crate. Sometimes he doesn't. I don't make him. But if I was to, export him somewhere, like take him somewhere, he would. He would happily go in the crate. Yeah, he's fine.
Lovely. But how long do you think it took him to be comfortable after that first very intense night?
Month. Yeah, probably a month.
Okay.
I'd say, to feel properly comfortable. Even then, he was a little bit, yeah.
But he still likes your hand in the crate when he sleeps, even after. How old is he now?
No, not anymore. But that was just puppy, 4 months in.
Yeah.
He was like, he just needed that. He needed to know that I was there. It was, ever since he was a puppy, he was sort of like, he would sleep down the side of the bed when he went to sleep, and I had to be touching him for the first 2 nights. Otherwise, he'd wake up and bark at me.
He was a baby animal. That's like...
Yeah, it was really, really tough to begin with, but he's perfect now.
He is.
Hard work.
Yes.
Not anymore, but yeah. Yeah.
How for you, Bruce?
So with Judge, we did crate training. I just left him in there. It seems cruel, but now he loves his crate. That's his safe space. He goes there, all the time. And, a lot of times at night, he'll jump off the bed and go in his crate and come back. He kind of goes back and forth. With Max, we failed the crate training. I had to give up because the crate is too big for him, and I don't have the partition anymore because Judge is bigger, and I didn't want to get another crate. So I was just trying to use that one. And then Tatiana got it's basically like a playpen. It's like a plexiglass playpen. It's got 2 compartments, like a bigger one and a smaller one. And that's where I keep him now. And we put because he was eating. I tried to train him to go out to relieve himself, but he's so small and he has short hair, so he shivers like crazy. And I feel bad. I don't want him to I know he's not going to freeze to death, but he's obviously uncomfortable. So, and then if you put the jackets on him and stuff, he pees on them and he doesn't, it's a disaster. So we've been wee pad training him. So in the playpen, we have a section that has the wee pad and then a dog bed for him. So I guess if you want to call that a crate, that's what we're doing now.
Enclosed space, isn't it? So it's
it's still kind of the same thing because if he runs around, he's still to the point where the second he feels like he has to go, he goes. It doesn't matter where he is. And, it'll be on the couch. It'll be on the bed. So I need to keep him in an enclosed space so that I don't live in filth.
Yeah.
I think at this point we have to clear up. So Judge is the Pomeranian who's Bruce's, but Bruce recently became a multiple dog parent with Nipsey, the cat, moving in a year ago already.
Yeah, a little over a year.
Very recently, Max, a Chihuahua puppy, who is about 4 months old now. You kind of keep reliving the dream of puppyhood and potty training. Yes.
Well, Nipsey was easy. I have to say, she's very easy. I got a kitty litter box. She knew right away to go in there. I don't know if we stole her.
They're very, very clean animals. Cats.
Yeah, so I don't know if she already knew because like she was somebody else's cat and we technically stole her. We found her in a parking lot. It was a hot summer day, so I don't think we stole her from anyone.
Steal her.
But either way, she deserved better, so she's with us now. So she knew right away to go into the kitty litter, first night, really, she was in it. And so that was very easy. We didn't have to do anything for her, just clean the kitty litter and feed her.
Oh, that's perfect.
Max, it's still a struggle.
Well, Makenzie is a Shiba Inu girl, and she likes it clean. So for her, and again, I didn't know anything much about potty training, but for her, she instantly went on these pee pads that I had. I didn't even think about pee pads. I had them because I read somewhere they were a good idea. And she instantly just went on top of the pee pads for her pee. And then the big business number 2, she didn't understand for a very long time. And I think now in hindsight, it's only 3 weeks. But for me, it felt like what a very long time. She didn't understand that she can do her big business outside because outside was for play. And she doesn't go where she plays or where she eats or where she feels comfortable. She did go once in my closet because I think when puppies move in, you kind of restrict their space a bit to make them understand what is their home. And when everything is accessible, it's too much space to really comprehend. So I made that mistake once, and then she went once on my shoes. But after that, she was fine.
That would have been it for Judge if he did that.
Oh, shit. Yeah, but it was really only once, and then once on purpose on the bed. But that's a different story. But I think crate training very, very much looking me in the eyes, so that's a different story. But I think crate training really is the issue of creating, as you said, the safe space, which is something that I really, really understood only after she was 2 or 3 years. Oh, we didn't try it. She had a playpen, didn't like it on day 1, so we gave it away. But it's so if you're interested in crate training, it is something to really think about, to really make it like a slow process, not because it is a baby, tiny baby animal, right? So they want to be connected, they want to know you're around, and I think there is much information out there on crate training, but it's never good enough. So really have to go and investigate. And I think the way Judge and Judge and Bowie learned it is the right way to make it comfortable and a place where you still want to go to because you feel safe and connected. So let's move on to puppy myths. So I really want to know, what is the biggest puppy myth that you believed before the puppies moved in?
I guess that it's all going to be easy.
That is the biggest one.
They're cute. They are cute, but not all the time. It is, like, especially now that I'm reliving puppyhood again, the first, now, thankfully, knock on wood, Max basically makes it through the night. But, the first few weeks, I didn't sleep a complete night in probably 3-4 weeks. And because I had to, take him out. I didn't want him to go to the bathroom on the bed. And like I said, I failed at crate training the first night, like Ben said with Bowie, he was crying so much. I couldn't sleep. I wasn't sleeping anyway. So I was like, you know what? Let me let him on the bed so I could actually get a little bit of sleep. And then I'll take him out halfway through the night. And that's what I did. So the first probably 2 weeks, I took him out twice a night. So I literally did not sleep. It was, I would take him out at like 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 in the morning around there, and then like 4. And, because I just, like I said, I didn't want him to have an accident on the bed and have to get a new mattress. So, I think, that's, that they're all cute. That's the myth that you have to realize they are cute sometimes, but there is still an inconvenience in the beginning when they're puppies.
It is hard work.
Yeah, I guess it was the sleep deprivation that was really difficult at the beginning, like you said, Bruce. So, that was a shocker to me. I was like, I won't say it. I was like, damn, this is like really hard. So like, but yeah, and actually teaching them to walk like with a leash. I for some reason I just completely thought like, oh, they just go out and walk.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
That was an eye opener for me.
Yeah. The walking on the leash is a little difficult.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, Max is pretty good. He's just so small that he goes wherever I want him to go anyway. Like, he doesn't, like Judge, even though he's small, he's very strong and he can pull.
Yeah.
So the leash, which is what, Spitzes are basically bred for anyway. They're all sled dogs.
Yeah.
But I have the harness that attaches in the front for him because he pulls so much. And if I attach it in the back, he definitely feels the difference. So if anyone out there has a dog with pulling issues, get the harness that attaches the leash in the front. They pull a lot less.
Yeah, I just let Bowie do it now. Bowie always wants to lead.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you lead then, mate. You know where we're going.
You know where we're going.
But yeah, no, I think Shebas are notoriously stubborn. So how was that trying to, teach Makenzie how to walk?
Well, when she was little, we were in Seattle, and she would always go out to the dog park where she had the most fun. She had like a group of Sheba friends and other friends. So every time we went out, we would go to the dog park, and she learned to pull because she knew whenever she goes out, there's going to be fun at the other end of the walk. Yeah. So it took us, she's now 5 years old. And I would say now, after a year in Italy where there are no dog parks, a park, so she has friends and fun, but very different from what we did before. She is now better at walking on the leash, but she's still, we let her decide where she wants to go. So there are a couple of routes that we take here, and it's like it's her walk, her choice. Wherever she wants to go within reason. It's because it's her walk, it's her sniff time, it's her pee time. She can choose whoever she wants to see, which I think is nice. And yes, she does walk all over me, but still they don't decide anything in their life, right? They didn't make the decision where they go, where they live, what they eat. They are given food, they're given water. They cannot make any choice other than maybe the toy box, like which toy to pull out. So I feel like when she makes the choice where she wants to go on her walk, that is very much, it's a nice thing for her to have this power over her walk. So, yeah. So the puppy myth that I thought was the most intense one for me is that a puppy is a blank page. Because I thought all puppies are the same, right? They come into your house and then you talk to them and they can, which is stupid with hindsight because they don't speak our language. I wasn't really aware that they are not speaking human language. And that they are not coming with their own baggage. And it took me so many, really 2-3 years, I want to say, really understanding that she does come with a past, even though she's only 10 years old. Like a genetic past, an emotional past, taken away from her mom, from her siblings, into our life. So how she processes information and perceives the environment is so much depending on us. And I wasn't aware how intense these first few weeks together were. That was really, really the biggest puppy myth. That no, they are tiny baby animals, and you do best not to forget that.
They definitely have like their own personality that they're born with, for sure.
Yes, very much so. Funny enough, we all raised them in the U.S. or
that is funny.
Canada.
I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Sorry, it's not the same thing, but it is.
Yeah,
it is very close together. So they
same
all
land block. Yeah.
Very not correct. But they had the first I think half a year or so at least. Ben, how old was Bowie when you moved? A year, almost?
No, it was only I'll say 6 months, 7 months.
6 months?
Yeah, so it's half a year when we moved from Canada to UK.
But so they all started out in the Northern American continent and then they moved across. So what was the most interesting changes for you in terms of living with a dog? Because Ben, you moved kind of back home, right, to London, where you didn't grow up, but you moved back to the UK. So you knew your way around there. But was there anything that you really came across as a surprise with your own dog?
I wouldn't say so. The transportation to get him back was horrible. I wouldn't do that again. I wouldn't fly him long haul. I'd find another way. But I'd say we moved back from a city to a farmhouse initially. So we moved from a hustling, bustling city to a countryside. I lived at mum and dad's for a couple of months before I moved to London. It's just getting him used to the different surroundings. But he had a pack when he got back here. He didn't have that before. And then when we moved to London, obviously that was a bit more his territory. But yeah, because he grew up with all the noises and stuff, which I'm really actually happy about. Like growing up in the centre of a big city was really, really good for Bowie. Like he heard all sorts of noises, loud bangs and stuff, and he's so unfazed now by anything, which is great.
Not even New Year's.
Not even New Year's.
Oh, lovely.
November fireworks night just went off, and Bowie just lying on the bed, just loudest bangs, didn't even flinch.
Oh wow!
I was like, that's brilliant. Yeah, I know some people really struggle with that and fireworks night. But yeah, no, luckily he's fine. But yeah, no massive changes, I'd say.
Nothing. Okay. For you, Bruce?
So Judge grew up in we were in the suburbs, so quite the opposite to Bowie. You know, when he would see a car come up the driveway, he would freak out a little bit. And so when we were in London in Osho Tower, whenever he would look outside and see a car come into the entrance, he would start freaking out, like he thinks it's his, it's only him who's allowed and his visitors that he approves only. So that was, he still does it now, even like where we are. He looks out the window, and if he sees like another dog, he'll bark at him. But it's not too bad. But yeah, so I think probably the biggest challenge was going to the bathroom on the concrete in the beginning, because he just didn't understand that it was okay. Like he's used to going in the grass. But yeah, he got used to it. I remember the first time he went, I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, he did it finally. Because I would have to try to find a park or something, like when we first moved there, we were by Russell Square. So I would go into that park and it had a lot of grass. So he was fine. But when we moved to Canary Wharf, that's when there was not a lot of grass around our building. So he had to kind of figure it out.
I mean, Bowie still is preferable to grass or leaves.
Yeah.
He will go on the concrete, but he does. He's got weird places that he likes to go though on concrete. Like the little pebble dashed road just outside the Hilton. It's got the little the cobbly bit. He likes to go on those cobbled stones. Which is the driveway to the parking lot. He likes to stop there and go for a poo. But other than that, it's grass.
He's so cute.
It's so weird.
Yeah, they are quirky for sure.
Yeah.
For Makenzie, the most difficult thing when we moved to the UK was the wind. Because she lived in Seattle. Weirdly enough, it wasn't a windy or rainy city for us. The 1.5 years we were there, it didn't rain much. There was not much wind. And when we moved to London, it was just oh my God, so windy. She couldn't poo. She couldn't really pee. She couldn't do anything. It took her really, really long time to get used to the wind and rain. And she didn't, I wouldn't say weeks, until she was ready to go and pee in the rain.
Wow.
Yeah. And then here, because in Sicily, there's even less grass than in Canary Wharf. So here was the hardest thing to pee and poo on stone, which she now, so peeing is not an issue at all. And pooing, I want to say within the year that we lived here, today is exactly the 1 year mark. She pooed 5 times on stone, which is on the pavement, which is amazing for her. She can really, I don't want to say be stubborn, but she has her opinions and she sticks to them. So
yeah.
So if your dog could talk, all of them, if our dogs could talk, what would they say about you, about being a dog parent? So Ben, you mentioned being a helicopter parent. Would Bowie think the same?
I think Bowie just looks at me like I'm the best thing since sliced bread. I'm just like this. He's very what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Possessive over me. He's just in awe. He just looks at me like he's in awe of me, like I'm some godly figure, which is nice.
Yes.
Nice. He just sort of looks to me for guidance and can I do this? Can I do that? But yeah, he's a good boy. But yeah, I don't think he obviously. I don't know. What about you guys?
He would tell you that I don't give him enough treats, and
Both of
that
them,
I don't.
or just Judge?
Both of them. Max, I think he's got a little bit less of an opinion right now. But Judge would say that I don't give him enough treats. And also, like when we walk, I let him sniff, but he always wants to go into the bushes and here and there. And it's like, I don't want him to get like a tick or anything like that. So I try to redirect him. So he would say that I probably don't let him sniff where he wants to sniff as much. I think those would be the two complaints.
What about Kenzie?
I was thinking about that. So she would say I'm not as fun as her dad because Tobias is way more fun.
Same, yeah. She would say I'm not as fun as her mom.
And she will complain that 2 nights ago I let her fall out of bed, which is
your fault.
Yeah, my fault, because she sleeps on my leg, so her head is on my foot. And then sometimes it's so uncomfortable. I just feel like I'll pull my legs up and give her the space below. It's like I've been sleeping uncomfortable for the past 5 years. But this one night I didn't pay attention, and she uses my leg as a barrier, and she toppled out of bed. So she would most likely endlessly complain about that. But other than that, I think she would say helicopter mom and fun dad, most likely. Yeah. But good food. At least good food.
Yeah, good food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the dog parenting, I think the dog parenting has changed so much over the years. So we went from being super, from dominance theory, which is something that we all grew up with. I think in the 80s, it was just the thing that any dog in your life is just aiming towards dominating your life and taking over your kitchen, to actually taking our dogs out on afternoon tea sessions and all of these things. So where on that scale do you see yourself falling?
I take Bowie out to pubs and stuff and restaurants if they allow him. But yeah, he comes, if he can go somewhere with me, he will come with me. He comes to work with me. He goes to, if I can take him to restaurants and pubs, I will. But yeah, he's a people pleaser, so no qualms in taking him anywhere. But yeah, I think he has very much dominated my life. I mean, I'll rarely go anywhere without him if I can help it.
Are you going to Vienna without him? So
I hope
you feel bad about it.
Yeah, I know. I would take him. If there was an easy solution to get him there without puppy passports and now they've dewormed and all this.
It's so silly.
There's so much.
Which is on the way back only, right? If you go to the European continent, there is no deworming necessary.
Yeah, if you get to European if I take him there, it's fine. It's coming back, isn't it? He has to have all the documents.
So it's you being complicated, not the rest of Europe.
Yeah, it's the UK.
Yes.
UK is a very complicated place. Yeah. What about you guys?
I wish I could take him to more places. Over here, since we've been back, I have to say it's definitely not as pet friendly. So pubs over in the UK, you can basically bring your dog to any pub. They don't care. It's not like a fancy place. Over here, I feel like everyone they'll say pet friendly or dog friendly, but it's okay, well, you have to sit outside, and it's okay, well, now it's where I'll try to do Celsius. It's it's 5 degrees out, and it's cold. I'm not sitting outside in the cold.
Yeah.
So that's not pet friendly to me.
Yeah, it's false advertisement. It's not really pet friendly. You can't go
when
the building.
When we first got back, I looked up, in New York City, pet friendly restaurants or whatever. And there was one. It was actually a pub style restaurant, and I called them up. And actually, Tatiana was just call and make sure. And I was just gonna go, and so I called, and they're like, "Oh yeah, well, it's raining out, so not really today because there's no seating outside." I'm like, "But you say on your website that you're dog friendly," and they're like, "Yeah, well, only outside." I'm like, well, that's not dog friendly then. If you're going to make me go outside, that's not dog friendly. I'm like, dog friendly is they can go wherever I can go, in my opinion. Yeah. So yeah, that's the one thing that I don't like over here is there's definitely less dog friendly places. But yeah, if I was, like you, Ben, I would take them everywhere.
Yeah.
I would take them to work if I could.
Yeah, London's pretty good for places that are pet friendly, to be honest. Most cafes and little places accept dogs. I'll just walk in with them in most places as well, and just see what the vibe is.
Yeah, that's what I should do. I try to I'm a little bit of a rule follower. Tatiana's more of a rule breaker, and so I'll call and I'll be like, hey, can I take them? I should just start just going and being like, okay, fine. If you don't want my business, then I'll go somewhere else.
People will just accept it. If you just walk in with a cute dog and the people that are currently working like dogs, they're probably not going to kick you out.
Yeah. Even like shops and stuff. I'll see at Walmart. I see people with their dog, but I don't bring them because I don't want to get kicked out and or denied entry. So I'll usually leave them home. But then I go and I see someone with a dog, and I'm like, oh, I could have Judge here. So
I've seen someone push it really to the extreme. Actually, in the Sailmakers building, I was training in the gym one day, and someone just brought in this big dog just to sit with her while she was training. I'm like, okay, that's a little bit much.
That's a bit much.
Yeah. Dog it, and then they've got a sign now in the tower saying, please do not bring your dogs to the gym.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting place to bring your dog.
Yeah. Why?
It's like you're working out.
They do allow dogs to the yoga class because I took her.
Yeah, doggy yoga, that's the thing, Yeah.
Yeah.
But, not while you're doing weight training.
No, just the yoga room.
Yeah.
Does Kenzie get involved in the positions?
No, but that was the time when she didn't stay alone at home. And I wanted to go to that yoga class. I just asked, can I take her? Because she would just be somewhere in the corner. And then the yoga teacher, she's a dog walker during the day as well. And she was so happy. She even gave her own yoga mat to Makenzie because she was constantly lying down on mine. And then it was really sweet. But Makenzie just liked watching. She does like to observe, to have her own comfy space and just to watch. So yoga class, you can take them. Nobody will complain, hopefully.
And what's Sicily like for places to go with dogs?
Well, she can go. The Italians are surprisingly dog friendly. She can go into the supermarket, which in Germany is absolutely not possible. Yeah. And here she can go wherever she likes. People take their dogs wherever they go. But weirdly, and it could be because it's southern Italy, some of the dogs are treated like babies, like we treat our dogs, and others are very much like in the 80s. You see the owners trying to dominate their dog, not really being able to explain to them that don't bark at the other dogs. So they pull them and they scold them. I think most of the bigger dogs are treated like Italian children. You're being yelled at, and then the other times you're just let out. Go scream, do whatever you want. There is no education or training necessary. It's really, it's strange. It's a really strange place. But I've never encountered one Italian person who was not sweet to her. So I cannot really complain about it.
Yeah, I hear Italy's very dog friendly.
Yeah. It's just, I think there is a super huge gap because they have all these dog-friendly laws, and Milan is very dog-friendly in terms of taking them to the cafe and doing all the pretty things. Mm-hmm. But there's so many street dogs in southern Italy, especially, and so many guard dogs which are not treated the right way, in the sense that they're not being trained. They're being left outside in crates to just live their life outside, very unhappy. Not all of them, obviously, but I want to say the majority, but it is just a different kind of culture here. So not every dog in Italy is happy.
Yeah. We have a lot of stray cats. We actually, we feed them. There's a group that we kind of volunteer with, and they have different colonies, we call them. So there's 4, there's 2 that live by themselves along the river. And then there's a bunch of colonies. There's one colony with 7 or 8 cats, and then another one with 13 cats. So we feed them twice. Well, actually, Monday and Tuesday in the morning, and then Wednesday, Thursday in the evening. So 4 days a week.
So they know your schedule, the cats.
Yeah. Well, when I pull up in my car, they come. They know. We clap, and we have them come over, and it's pretty cool. I have to say. I mean, I don't like that there's skunks and raccoons that also come. So I try to shoo them off. But Tatiana likes the raccoons. I don't.
But they have to eat as well, right?
Well, that's what she says. So she's like, they have to eat too. And I'm like, yeah, well, not the cat food, because then the cats don't get to eat.
Maybe they share when you're not looking.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they do all the raccoons are crazy. Like, they have hands, so they'll grab stuff.
Yeah.
So like the one it took, I used these tins that I have, and I put the food in there, and the one grabbed it and ran. I mean, he knocked all the food out of it, but he literally took it underneath this like trailer that's back there, and I couldn't get it. And then like one day Tatiana was fighting with one, like it was like tug of war. She was trying to take the thing away. The raccoon, of course.
Of course.
But
funny.
yeah, we do. We don't have a lot of stray dogs, but there's a lot of stray cats.
I don't see many strays in London, though. I don't think I've ever seen a stray.
Stray foxes you have.
Yeah, foxes. Yeah. Which was a surprise to me, by the way.
Yeah.
When I first saw a fox in London, I was like, I remember we had just moved and we were staying by Russell Square, and I'm like, I saw a fox in the middle of the road, and I was like, what is this thing doing in this city? And then so it's a thing. I didn't realize that foxes in London are like, there's a lot of them. Yeah, I had no idea. Because when I was in the suburbs, I used to walk with like a flashlight at night, because there was coyotes, there were foxes, skunks. There was all sorts of wildlife where I lived. And, you don't want to be taken by surprise. I don't think the coyotes, there was one that attacked someone with a dog. So like you definitely want to be like, alert. And but yeah, so like when I moved to London, I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about this anymore. And then all of a sudden, like the second night, I see a fox run down the road.
I mean, they're pretty skittish, though, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is that there's no rabies in the UK. Like when they're rabid, that's when they go like crazy. They don't really, know what they're doing. And actually, the coyote that he actually bit this person.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like the story was like the guy was walking his dog, and he noticed that like the hair on his dog's back like stood up, and he was like growling. And so he was like, all right, well, something's out here. So he started to go back to his like house, and he opened the door and let the dog in. And as he went to go walk in, the coyote ran up behind him and bit his leg, like his ankle. And he was able to like shake free and get inside. And apparently they caught the coyote. The only way you could test if it actually is rabid is if they're dead. You have to do like, I think they take a sample of like the brain, because that's where it is.
Jesus.
And so they found it, they, euthanized it, and they took a sample of its brain, and it was rabid. So they obviously treated him for rabies right away. But wow. I think that's the only time that they'll actually like really attack is if they are rabid. And that's the most dangerous. I mean, rabies is fatal if it's not treated right away.
Wasn't Judge almost being hunted by a hawk or eagle in your backyard? A hawk,
yes.
Was it?
Day one. Day one, we took him home. It was kind of later in the day. By the time we got home, it was like after 5. The second day that we had him, we invited my wife's family over for like a barbecue. And I told my wife, like, there's hawks and stuff in this area. Don't like let your father take him all around the yard. And so sure enough, I'm sitting there. I'm like at the bar. I'm grilling, and I'm like looking around. I'm like, where's Judge? And she's like, oh, my father's not here. He probably has him. And she walked around the corner of the house. And as she turned, there was a hawk coming down, and it peeled away when it saw her like go for Judge, and it sat on the telephone pole across the street. The rest of it, I have the pictures. It just sat there, and it was like waiting. And I'm like, well, now it knows we have this like little guy here, so it's going to be back. But thankfully, I mean, that would have been it for him. It would have swiped him up and took him into the woods, and we would have never seen him again.
He was just a handful when you took him home, right?
Yeah. He fit in my hand. He fit in the palm of my hand.
That's insane.
I think he was less. I think he was like 2.5 pounds, so a little over a kilo.
That's insane. This crazy puppy story kind of brings us to our call to action. So to any listeners who want to share an equally crazy or less crazy story of their puppies. Like, how was your first day? What was your biggest adventure? How did you come up with the name, which is a topic that we really need to get into. Please let us know and share your story. We're really looking forward to it. And then, guys, just because I wanted to do that, which is something that we haven't discussed before. But and I don't know how you feel about it, but when I first became a dog parent, I didn't really always know who to listen to, what to read, how to digest all of that information. So I felt like every month we should just like give a book tip, a video tip, or whatever, a trainer that we really favor for some reason, and share that with our audience, because I think it is really, there's so much information out there, so many Instagram accounts to follow, so many things to do right and do wrong. And you really need to learn to just digest your own information. Like, take what you can, leave what you can't. And I want to start with that. So that is my favorite book to start with. It is The Book Your Dog Wishes You Would Read by Louise Glazebrook, who is an East Londoner, just like us. Like, well, at least we feel like one, right? And she is a dog behaviorist. She has experience with, I don't know, over 1 million dogs, I want to say, which is most likely true. And her point is that you need to make an effort to understand your dog. And it is about the relationship you build, the trust that you build, and only what you can bring into the relationship will come back. So a dog is a sentient being. It is an honor to have them in our lives, and we should treat them accordingly. And they come into our lives without understanding any of our lives. So no language. They don't understand anything about our social norms, about how we live, what we want from them. And she just really tells us all in many different stories that it is worth it to make an effort. So I want to share this one because it's an easy read. It is super funny. It is very kind. And it, even as a dog parent and even as a person who reads a lot about dogs, it is still a good book because it brings you back to the root, to the beginning. And she has like super easy suggestions that you can start to build trust with, which I did with Makenzie, and the games that she suggests are really great. Even Makenzie likes them, which does say something. And I think that also brings us to our closing, right? So next time we decided to go for the instructions we leave for our pet sitters, which is going to be a very fun episode because I think there's a lot to get out of there. We even have our own pet daycare person with us, Ben, right? You used to work in a pet daycare. Mm-hmm. So I think there is a lot to share from both sides of the table. And with that, we want to say our goodbye. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to us. We love talking about our dogs so much, and we hope you do too, or at least you like to listen. And you listen to the new podcast episode, Our Truth About Puppyhood.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Have a good day.